if somebody has a disproportionate amount of fat in the chest, the biceps, and the triceps, it can indicate that they have some type of hormonal imbalance with regard to their Now we're going to start getting into some of the more specific sites that correlate to the different hormonal imbalances. And the first one we're going to do is the pectoral region. For the pectoral region, there's two different ways to measure this one. When you are measuring for men, you want to go 2 fingertips from the nipple. When we are measuring on women, we are doing 2 fingertips from the axilla. So what we would want to do is have the patient place their hand on their hip. So Alana, I'm just going to have you place your hand on your hip. And then 2 fingertips from the axilla. That is where we would go on a diagonal. So we're not vertical, we're not horizontal. We want it on that 45-degree angle. And then same thing, we're going from a broad C, scoop it to an O, and then we would measure just below the fingertips. Once we've done that, the chest, we're going to move on to the biceps. For the biceps, we want the arm at 90 degrees, and then we are going at the midway point. So you want to go right at the peak of the bicep, and this one is going to be a vertical fold. Same thing, we're going from a broad C, scooping it to the shape of an O, and then we want to go just below the fingertips. As soon as we see the dial stop, that is when we stop. If you're brand new to assessing, you want to take 3 measurements at each site and then do the average. It's going to take you about 4,000 Skinfold caliper assessments before you start to get really, really accurate. So for the first few years, you're going to want to take multiple assessments. Next, we're going to do the tricep. For the tricep, what we would want to do is we're going to measure from the acromion to the olecranon, and then we just want to get a midway point. As with the actual measurements, if you are a beginner, it would help to get a tape measure and mark these. As you become more experienced, you could just do it with your fingertips and your eyeballs. But what we would do is right where that marking is, we would go from a C to an O, and you just want to use your X-ray vision to see that you are in line with the humerus, and then we are going to measure right at the triceps. These 3 sites right over here, the pectoral, the bicep, and the tricep, these are going to be related to the android sites. Android, that is going to be things like testosterone. So if somebody has a disproportionate amount of fat in the chest, the biceps, and the triceps, it can indicate that they have some type of hormonal imbalance with regard to their testosterone production. Now we're going to go over to the subscapular region. For the subscapular,
that was just a tiny taste of what can be found in my members only section. If you enjoyed it, become a member for only $5 a month to get access to hundreds of member only videos.